Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today we are joined by Jason Pantana from the Tom Ferry community, and we're going to be talking about how to fill the funnel, how to turn Mindshare into market share. And Jason's going to go through a whole bunch of different slides today and really show you the things that you should and could be doing on social media and a bunch of different strategies for you to actually fill the funnel. And the cool part is, many of these things, if not all of these things, are things that we at GGMS can help you achieve. So with that, Jason, if you'd like to go ahead and join us.
I am here. Do you hear me okay?
I hear you okay. We're good. Yeah. So
hey, I'm
Jason,
stoked to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, totally. Jason, if you would just give everybody, maybe some people who are not familiar out there with who you are, what you do, and the Tom Ferry organization, if you could just give us a little soundbite of what that's like.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll put some slides up later for everyone to connect with if they want to just scan a QR code to connect on Instagram or whatever it might be. My name's Jason Pantana. I'm a business coach and speaker with Tom Ferry International. We've been ranked the #1 coaching program in the galaxy, essentially, for the last 10 years consecutively. And it's something I'm really proud to be a part of, because ultimately we have roughly 10,000 coaching members in the US and Canada, worldwide. And for us to be named the #1 coaching program for 10 years in a row is really the measure of their success, because by extension, we get to be #1 based upon the results being achieved in the businesses of those who are part of our ecosystem. And it's the stuff we're talking about today that is what moves the needle in your business. We focus on sales, marketing, operations. Today is really a conversation about marketing. How do you create awareness? How do you attract actual, legitimate, in this case, listing leads? Because, do the thing, have the power. And that's sort of a mantra of our ecosystem in terms of be the agent who's willing to work. We know the failure rate in this industry is unacceptably high. And it's ultimately because too many agents don't know what to do. And so the entire value proposition of what we're doing together right now, what our ecosystem is doing, is giving you the ideas to implement in your business that are proven and will move the needle. In the case of today, they're designed to help you sell more houses or get more listings, that is. However, ideas are easy. Execution is where all the work goes down, which is, again, why I think us doing this together makes a lot of sense, because I'm going to kick up a lot of, hey, you should execute on this. And I know that you've got their back in terms of helping them execute all the way down to the finish line, right?
Yep, that's exactly right. And with that, let's go ahead. Let's jump into the slides. And yeah.
All right, I love it. Hey, thank you so much. I'm pumped to be here. Let me get my screen share up so everybody can see the slides. That is the QR code I promised everybody. It's a big QR code that takes you to all my social links. Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever you are. I try to be there too, because I want to be a resource for you. I want to hear from you. I want to get DMs. I want to hear what's challenging you, what worked for you. And I want you to think of me today as not just a coach, but as kind of an investigative journalist, whereby it's my job to look at what's working in the businesses of agents and teams across the US, across Canada, worldwide. And I'm going to bring you basically a buffet, a whole spread of you could try this or this or this or this. We're going to go through a few different things today, but I want you to recognize right now that it's your business. It's up to you what you choose to act on. I know you want to fill the funnel. You wouldn't have clicked to watch this video if you didn't want to fill the funnel with more and more listing opportunities, because I think we're all feeling it in the marketplace right now. We know that there is this sense of diminishing returns, where if you go back 2 or 3 years, and we were looking at the pandemic market, and real estate was just booming like crazy. And it's not that it isn't now, it's just that it's different. A lot of agents are feeling the sense of, I got to work 2 to 3 times as hard, do the same thing 2 to 3 times moreover to get the same result that I was getting before. And the answer is, I'm kind of like, yep, bingo, you've got to do the work. Tom Ferry has this funny line he's been using here lately. He says, you know what's working? Working. That's what's working. Now we're going to talk about the specific aspects of what work is performing the best in terms of listing attraction. But I want to acknowledge what everybody's feeling. There's a sense of diminishing returns, but I fundamentally believe, look, the market belongs to those who market. And so look at it like this. Imagine your wealth advisor saying, hey, you should be buying some stocks right now. And you're like, I'm not saying to do that. That's not my thing, but just go with me on this metaphor. Your wealth advisor's like, hey, when's the best time to buy stocks? And you're like, I don't know, when they're really like doing a good job, when they're growing. And he's like, no, when they're losing gains, when they're diminishing. Why? It's not that you're throwing good money after bad, even though it feels like that sometimes. It's more like you're buying percentage ownership of companies that eventually will rebound at a compound rate of growth. Now, that's kind of an abstract sort of complex thought, and I'm not saying to do that. I just want you to buy into the metaphor of this idea that, hey, the market may feel like it's sluggish, that you're just kind of trying to get through. It's a lot more work than it used to be. And the encouragement I want to offer is now is the time to double down on your marketing, because the market belongs to those who market. Every time you start winning mind share in the marketplace, you are basically buying percentage ownership of the consumer in your local marketplace. And this is a relationship business. It's a know you, like you, trust you business. And so if your marketing can bring about that result, make folks in your local marketplace, sellers in particular, think, I want to work with an agent who's just like that, then you are well on the path to filling the funnel, which is our talk today. This notion of Mindshare wins market share. What my vision for you is barns overflowing, vats brimming over with leads and prospects asking for you to list their properties. We also know the old adage, you got to list to last. And so the focus today is really going to be about how do you generate listings? How do you win in the marketplace? We already talked about this. We're the #1 coach for the past 10 years in a row. That's Tom Ferry. And I have loved being a part of this ecosystem for almost 7 years now. It's been truly a privilege to watch the growth of so many agents and so many teams. And I'm showing you this screen in particular because I want you to know every single example I talk about, all the learnings, all the tactics and strategies are coming from this ecosystem of clients who are crushing it across the US and Canada and abroad. And the idea I want to present to you is, why not you? Why should it be any different to you? Truth be told, real estate's not a complex business. That doesn't make it easy. It's not easy. It's just not complex. And so I want to make it even easier than it already is. And I want to demystify some of what's complex about how do you market your business, because everybody knows they got their license because, I don't know, you want to be in control of your schedule. You see unlimited potential in the marketplace. People have their reasons for going into real estate. I had my reasons for going into real estate. But make no mistakes, make no qualms about it. When you became licensed, when you went into real estate, at that moment forever onward, you were in business. You are in business. And every business has to conduct sales and marketing activities to generate more customers. They don't just show up because you're licensed. They show up because you won them over, you attracted them, you got yourself on their radar. And so today we're going to talk about 3 listing-focused ways to fill the funnel. We'll talk about this idea of quantum content. We're going to talk about supercharged CRM nurturing. And then last, we'll talk about some brilliant basics and easy leads. These are not evenly weighted. This one here is going to take us more time to get through. The quantum content piece will take more time to get through. That doesn't mean it's more important. There's just a little bit more setup involved, and you'll see why when I get into it. It's because we're going to be making content. You got to make content. And then we'll get through the supercharged CRM nurturing with relative ease, because it will take a lot of the ideas from the first section and carry them forward into a plan. And then the third section here is brilliant basics and easy leads. This is sort of checks and balances. Hey, what else? What else? What else? I don't want you to get so laser focused on shiny pennies possibly that you're ignoring the low hanging fruit, the tried and true marketing that we know works. So first things first, let's talk about quantum content. I've said this lots of times in videos and in speeches, and I want you to remember it because it's true. Marketing without content. Okay, let's talk about what's marketing. Let's define marketing. Well, marketing performs 2 primary functions. If you're going to define it on a sheet of paper, why do I do marketing? What does marketing do for my business? It does 2 things. Marketing helps you build a brand. That means generate mind share, attention, awareness, get on people's radar, however you want to express that. It's about brand building, attraction, and it's about lead generation. Now, a lot of people are like, what comes first, the brand building or the lead generation? And it's like, it doesn't matter. You're going to do both. You're always going to do both. You can generate leads from a cold audience and then nurture them until they like, I love you, I want to work with you. Or you can attract leads. The challenge with being too one-sided is you're missing out on the other benefits. So like, for example, you may have lower lead conversion if you don't have a strong brand. A strong brand makes your lead conversion better because you're a known quantity. On the flip side of that, if you're only generating leads through attraction, you have no idea how many leads somebody else plucked up that could have been yours. So I don't want to get into the weeds too granularly here, but you got to do both. So the job of marketing, and this is all I want you to learn right now, it's brand building, it's lead generation. Those are the 2 primary functions. And marketing that without content, what's content? Content's just media. It's blogs, videos, emails. We live in a digital age. Even if you're sending out postcards, that's a form of content. Content is the information about what you do that you share. I'm going to give you a lot of examples in a moment here. But here's the idea. Marketing without content is like a bow without arrows. Picture a bow without arrows. This pretty bow. It can't do anything for me. It's completely and entirely useless unless you give it arrows. If you have arrows, you can take aim and shoot a specific target down. You can have an objective and actually execute on it. So think about it through the lens of every blog, every email, every video. They're like arrows in the quiver that can be used to achieve specific marketing objectives. What kinds of objectives? Well, there's only two. You're either brand building or you're lead generating. That's it. You're either brand building or you're lead generating. That's it. And you can use the content to achieve those outcomes. Now, so content is media. It's you sharing. I'll talk about sort of the topics in a little bit, but I want to be clear, the most important media right now for content is video. Specifically vertical videos, I want to talk about those. Your TikTok vertical videos, your Reels on Facebook and Instagram, your YouTube Shorts. It's not that there's no place for horizontal video, despite what my slide says, that video is vertical. I'm provocative. I want to make points you remember. It's just that right now, in terms of reach and gaining attention and achieving some of those marketing outcomes, they're paying out dividends on vertical videos. So we're going to focus on vertical video today. If you're not crushing vertical video today, you will be by the time you execute on what you learn here today. I'm going to give you a few different examples of vertical video, and I want you to bear in mind what is content. Okay, we know content literally is media. It's videos, it's blogs, it's emails, it's the literal media. Okay, what is content? Content is you delivering contribution to the marketplace. So I put it like this. This is just a quick little adage. Content is contribution. If it's a giant sales pitch, it's not content unless that sales pitch contributes. I'm reminded of the words of Jay Baer. He's an author of the book Utility. Jay Baer says that as an objective in your marketing, make your marketing so useful, people would pay you for it. Let that be the measure of marketing, that your marketing is so useful, people would be willing to pay you for access to your marketing materials. Think about that through the lens of your content being contribution. So for example, here's Shannon Mangan. She does these videos, we call these news screens. So if you look at videos like TikTok, Reels, and YouTube Shorts, all of these videos have a feature built into the video creation aspects of their software inside of their apps, whereby you can basically superimpose a green screen behind you. You don't actually need a green screen. Think of it as like the weather person delivering the weather, where they're standing in front of the map. Now we know, maybe you know, there's a giant green screen behind them. In this case, you don't need it. You can just have whatever background you want behind you. You can hold your phone up like this, and it will automatically, as part of the effect, it will cut you out of the video. You, the subject, out of the background. It's automatic. YouTube Shorts has it. Instagram Reels and Facebook Reels offer the same feature, and TikTok offers the same feature. It doesn't matter where you start, and you can cross-post it across all of them once you've done it once. It's built into the apps, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Checkbox, I think you got it now. I want you to watch her video. She has clearly screen recorded a news article, and she's reacting to the news. Now, one of the funny things about video is I hear this objection a lot. Jason, I don't know what to make my videos about. What content should I produce? Think about the power of this. She's not coming up with content. Not here, she's not. She's simply reacting to trending news. The same news articles that buyers and sellers in her local marketplace are already reading, she is simply giving her 2 cents, her commentary, to be the one who interprets the meaning of this at the local level. She's not making content, she's reacting to news, and it becomes its own content. This is highly efficient. Give it a watch.
According to a study by Redfin, home delistings hit a record high in November. Of course, Austin always makes the list. It was the second city that had the biggest increase in withdrawn listings. And I did my own research to see how true this is. I looked at the first 6 months out of the year, and there were 955 withdrawn listings.
I'm going to lower her sound in the background while I talk over it. You're going to notice that she has subtitles. You're going to notice that she's got some annotations, those red circles on screen and stuff like that. That's all extra. The part I want you focusing on right now is there's also music in her background. The part you're focusing on is the fact that you can react to the news by putting it in the background. Now, let me pause this because I'm hearing it. I'm sure you're hearing it too, and that's sort of annoying. When you do these news articles, all you have to do is screen record them. So how do you screen record? Well, on your iPhone, you could simply, I can show you, I think. Let me try to show you really fast. So on your iPhone, I'm just going to simply pull down the screen from the top to get to my control panel, my lock screen here, and I've got a screen record button. If you don't see it on your iPhone, then you can go into the control center, which is inside your settings, and you can turn it on and there it will appear. You simply tap that, it's going to go 3, 2, 1, and then you get rid of the tray and you record whatever you want. Simple, done and dusted, it's that easy. And then it saves that recording to your phone's camera roll. And so when you're going to make the reel, when you're making the TikTok, you just layer that in the background, whether it's TikTok, Shorts, or Instagram. If you're on an Android, you're probably, if you're on an Android, for one, my condolences. I'm so sorry to hear that. But if you must, I believe you go scroll down once, scroll down twice to the right, and you have a screen recording button there too. And it should say something like screen recording, and then it kind of streams across the top. My point is, whether you're on Android or an iPhone, grab the news that's relevant in your marketplace and react to the news. Be the local expert, just like Shannon is.
And real quick, Jason, to add to that, you know, the cool part about those videos is really all you're doing. You used to have to sit and write a blog, right? To give your perspective on a news article. And when we look at news outlets just in general, everybody gets their new, like the big media gets it from Associated Press, right? It'll hit, it hits the wire. And then these different news outlets take it and they kind of just regurgitate the information. You're doing the same exact thing. You're just doing it in video, right? You're just giving your reaction to something that already means something to the world. And for us in these smaller markets, right? I mean, you might not have that much going on. What it allows you to do is it allows you to take a trending topic. It allows you to take a trending article and just jump on the back of something that's already running, where you don't have to really come up with some brand new concept or idea. You're just kind of more or less just newsjacking, if you will.
You are. Yeah. You are. And to your point about smaller local markets, so what a lot of our clients do is they set up what are called Google Alerts. And a Google Alert is a free tool that Google offers whereby it can send you a daily email digest of anything that popped up on the web that relates to a specific keyword phrase you might choose. So I have lots of Google Alerts. I have a Google Alert on my name. If my name gets published on the internet, I get alerted. I have Google Alerts on social media, on marketing, on real estate, on Nashville real estate where I live. You can have lots of Google Alerts and you can program them to send you a daily log of the top trending news. It can go find it for you. And you just look at the email, oh, I'm going to make an article about that. You scan the article so you know what you're talking about and then record the video. Done and dusted. It's a highly efficient way to get content out.
Totally. I 100% agree with that. Yep.
Yep. Love it. And then what I would add to that is ultimately you get what your content attracts. And so if you position yourself, there's a lot of realtors who are, and this, don't take this as criticism. There's a lot of agents who are not making real estate focused content, or it's funny or it's personal, and that's fine. I'm not here to object to it. However, and I'm going to say this really quickly, so take a grain of salt as I say this. We've all heard for a long time that, hey, when I make content, it should be 80% personal, 20% professional. I'm sorry, that's an old adage. That's an old truth, and that's predicated on old algorithms. I'm not saying you should be business and salesy, not at all. I'm saying you have to find a way to take you as a person, your personal brand, a know you, like you, trust you relationship business, you as a person and your expertise, and combine them together. Every video, every post has to achieve this idea of positioning you as the expert, not the expert, you as the expert, you and the expert combined, because that's the value prop, right? That's what people are ultimately, we'll talk more about this, but that's what they're looking to hear from, is the expert. Now, again, I'm not saying you can't be personal or post family stuff or be funny. That's fine. You know your brand. but you get what your content attracts. Bear that in mind. And so if what you attract is listings, because homeowners are really like concerned about the marketplace and they want to work with an expert who's getting the job done at a high level, you get what your content attracts. Here's another video. This is we call these pro tips. These are typically recorded in advance. They're not like the news screen where you just kind of, oh, here's an article, let me react to it real quick and post this thing. The advantage of the news screens is you can do them in a super timely manner and they're really quick to execute on. These you're going to want to do in advance, and you can do a lot of them at a time, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. I'll give you an example, and as you watch this video, I want to invite you to ask the question, who is she talking to? Who is this video designed for? Just think about that, and it may be not as obvious as you think, or as maybe I'm making it sound. Here we go. Sorry, I clicked a link. Hey, by the way, when you get the slides, I put hyperlinks in them, and I just clicked the link so you can go watch the videos later. Here's the actual video.
I was at a listing appointment last week with a seller that previously had their home on the market with another agent. They reached out because they needed a fresh perspective on marketing because let's face it, the market has changed. And if the market has changed, your marketing has to change along with it. At the meeting, they asked me what I would do differently to market the property, and I thought I would share my response with you. Here are the top 3 things that I would do to market a property in today's marketplace. Number 1, stage. First of all, let me make this very clear. Now
I'm going to pause it for a little bit, okay? So what's her video about? Her video is about the top 3 ways to market your property in today's adjusted marketing landscape. It's a different real estate landscape. It's about marketing a listing. Okay, that's relatively an easy pill to swallow for anybody. That's pretty widely appealing to just about anybody. Who's her video really for? Well, it's really for that seller who's maybe on the market or was on the market and they're frustrated. Things did not go like they expected. They're upset with their agent or they're upset with market conditions. So she's appealing to a very specific pain point. But this is the trick. She's not appealing to that specific pain point in a way that would alienate a general audience. The general audience is just like, oh, 3 ways to market my property. That's widely appealing. That's pretty, oh, it's a big wide umbrella in terms of a widely appealing topic. But she's appealing to a specific type of person. And we call these dog whistle calls to action. It's a name that probably needs work, but I think it conveys the idea. If you blow a dog whistle, who hears it? Just the dog does. No, I am not calling your leads. I'm not calling homeowners dogs. That is not my intention. I'm just saying a dog whistle call to action is a call to action that only the intended prospect hears. Think about the power of that. As you're making videos, people are going to start tuning you out if you're selling to them all day, every day. Every time I see you on Facebook, you're just selling more stuff. But what if you're just giving away information again and again and again and again? Just really great info over and over and over again. Nobody's going to call you salesy for that. You're just giving away content. The irony is, indeed, you are selling your services because you're demonstrating expertise, and the thing you sell is ultimately your expertise to get the job done. I said that really fast. That's a big thought, but that's the truth. But nobody's going to call you salesy. However, if you can appeal to specific pain points, maybe it's folks who are stuck renting and they want to find a way to buy and they need options. Maybe it's folks who are struggling with affordability right now because rates are so high, they need some better lending alternatives. What are the pain points that are getting buyers and sellers, in particular sellers? I want us to focus on listings, but what are the pain points that are causing them frustration? And how do you appeal to them in a way where it's a dog whistle? When you blow that call to action, only they can hear it. What was Jen's call to action? It was actually, the other day I was at a listing appointment. Oh, how is that a call to action, Jason? Because she created a context in which it's possible to do an appointment with her. She didn't ask you for an appointment. She just created the context. The other day I was at a listing appointment and I was talking to a seller who had their home on the market and it was bad, blah, 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 blah. She appealed to a pain point and she gave a backwards offer, a dog whistle call to action. Hopefully you're getting the point, because the reality is this. If you look at social media, and I'm going to fly past this pretty quick.
Real quick, Jason.
Yeah, please.
I wanted to just talk about this concept for a second, because that whole you get what your content attracts, I think is a major thing that people need to understand. I think it's super easy for people to just kind of run and gun and just create things to create things.
Right. Checkbox marketing.
But what is the objective? And if your objective is to get more listings, which we know is the core of any real estate business, right? Buyers will transact. You will find buyers through holding the listings.
Yep.
And if you hold the listing, you hold the inventory.
That's right.
And really what this does, or the aha moment for me here, is that it's kind of business manifestation, right? Whether
it's
you
preeminence, it's Jay Abraham, preeminence. That's what it is.
Totally, because if you carry 100 listings, or if you have no listings, what you put out is what you're going to get back.
That's
so
right.
If you come from that mindset of, I was just speaking with a seller and these were their top concerns, maybe you have the same ones. Number 1, 2, 3.
You don't even have to say maybe you have the same ones.
Yeah,
it's implied.
It's implied.
All you have to do is say, hey, I was out showing properties. I was showing properties to a first-time home buyer, and you're just creating a case where, oh, I didn't realize Jason could do. Oh, okay. You are subliminally seeding this idea. It's a dog whistle call to action of how you can help people who have specific pain points while still offering topics that are widely appealing to a broader audience. You got to think about it like this too. Most people don't see any given post. If you publish on Instagram, for instance, or Facebook, maybe 10% of your followers, who are probably past clients, Sphere, the people with whom you're connected, maybe 10% see any given post. And so if you're doing the whole, hey, every 4th post or every 3rd post is a call to action kind of post, and everything else is just my personal life, I'm sorry, the algorithms don't work like that anymore. When Jab, Jab, Right Hook came out, it was an indisputable truth in all things marketing. It just doesn't hold up the same way in social media marketing today. You have to find a way to blend the story of you and the story of your business into one every time, and every video should be selling something. You get what your content attracts, but if you sell ad nauseum, like, hey, for all your real estate needs, call me, 555-5555, people are gonna like unfollow you or request to not see your stuff in their feed anymore. You gotta be a bit more stealthy than that, right?
I totally agree. Yeah, it's a stealth thing, and it's just being available, right? Being available, and that whole delivering value, giving away the free education, walking them through the process. So at the end of the day, it's going to make it way easier when you get on the phone with them, when you talk to them, because you've already positioned yourself as the expert. You've already educated them on the process. It just makes everything easier.
Well, and it's not hard. I mean, like this is a topic I want to get more granular on. So let's talk about it for a second. What are the dog whistle CTAs? Well, we can address the pain points. What are the pain points? Mortgage rates, days on market. Am I going to get over ask, under ask? What am I going to get? Like, we know the pain points. So what are the actual CTAs? I was at a listing appointment the other day, and I was showing property to a first-time buyer, and I was talking to this person who was renting to work out a game plan to buy, and there's also another benefit to that. When you talk about, it's just quick little passing lines. If you're not this is going to sound bad, if you're not the dog, you're not going to hear the whistle. If that's not you, you're going to move on to the topic. But if you're that renter, you're like, you hear the whistle.
Yeah.
Right? That was a horrible whistle. That was a better whistle. Anyways, those are your dog whistle CTAs. I would come up with a list of what are the ones I want to hit over and over and over again, just different little nuances that just, oh, he can do that. She can do that. Oh, wow. How about that?
Totally.
And there's another benefit.
Back to Jen's video there, getting that out in that first couple seconds, I was this, and that's the way you're going to get them to hear the dog whistle.
That's right.
Because they're only going to see or hear the first 3 to 5, if you're lucky, 10 seconds of the video before they either connect with it or don't and move on to the next.
And she cloaked it in a story. It was cloaked in a story. There's another benefit to it. There's actually a social currency piece to it as well. The other day I was at an appointment with a seller. That means if I do an appointment with you, I'm not the guinea pig. There's an implied somebody else has done this before me. So if folks see your videos and they see I was out showing properties to a luxury buyer, I was out at a listing appointment in this neighborhood, if they start hearing those little things of you doing the fruits of success in the marketplace, there's a social currency where it's like, oh, I'm not the guinea pig. She's working with all these other people. They must be really good at what they do. All this little kind of on the back burner psychology starts to happen in that quick little second. I was out showing property to a renter the other day, and
it's amazing how much can be packed into such a small and being purposeful in what you're saying and how you're saying it and the mechanism of that.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
Yeah. I mean, you'll see when I do mine, I'm like, I was speaking at an event. I was doing a webinar. I was working with the coaching client. I was consulting this client. It's just CTA. I just drop in my little CTAs
It also
in.
reels them into your life, right?
That's right.
It helps set the stage for where you were and what you were doing. It really, prefaces that whole
100%.
Yeah.
100%. All right. Fun
Good
stuff.
stuff.
Let's jump back in. Ready for that?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Let me get the screen up. All right. Now, here's the thing. Nobody's making enough content. The new screens, they're great because you can do them on the fly and they're quick. The pro tips, we'll talk about this. You can make them in batching in bulk. You can make a bunch at once. You're not making enough content. So I want to talk about some hacks and efficiencies to get way more content because I want to just touch on this and then we're going to move on. I don't want to get lost in it. But the algorithms are freaking greedy right now. They are greedy. And here's the funny thing. It's this paradox. They don't need your content, but they're greedy for more of it. More content. In fact, if you look at Instagram's, this is a later media study from late last year. And they said for Instagram accounts with under 1,000 followers, they found in their study, you get the best reach and engagement based upon posting 14 times a week. If you got 1,000 to 250,000 followers, 14 to 20 times per week. And whenever I show the screen, people are like, you've got to be kidding me. Oh my gosh. Now, if you want a resource, you can click here when you get my slides at the end and it will take you to a resource on that on my website. I'm not here to tell you you've got to do that much posting. Not at all. I'm simply saying, consider the fact that these greedy algorithms want to be fed. And the inherent proposition of value is the more you give them, the more they give you back. Don't ignore all the other opportunities in your business and act like the only thing in your life is social media. There's a whole lot more. So I would say some is better than none and done is better than perfect, but these algorithms want to be fed. Moreover, when you start giving Instagram, just Instagram as an example, a lot of content and you just keep feeding it, it starts to study the cumulative of all your content on your page. Oh, she makes videos and content like this for people like that. So the more you feed it, the more it starts to get I'm going to put my finger on you right there. That's who you are and who you're for. So a lot of folks talk about, hey, you want to have different buckets of content. Some where I show off this is the real me, this is the that. And I used to teach this stuff. I did. It doesn't apply anymore. Every video, every post is personal and professional all at the same time. And there may be some other social media experts who challenge me on that. But if you want to look at, okay, consider the fact that the algorithm is always analyzing information about a creator in terms of what content it shows. And if you make a specific niche style of content, it's going to quickly learn, oh, Jason makes content like this for people like that. And so you're going to want to be consistent in terms of you get what your content attracts. What do you want to attract? Make content that attracts more of what you want to get. I hope that's not too abstract of a thought. And the more you feed the machine, the more data points it has in the analysis of learning who you are and who you're for, and it's going to work better for you. You're not making enough content. I want to give you some hacks and efficiencies to make a lot more content way more quickly without it ruining your life. Because I've met a lot of agents who are struggling to pedal fast enough and they're tipping the bike over. They're not getting where they're flipping over the handlebars, trying to pedal faster. And at the same time, social media and video is not the only marketing in the world for us today. There's other stuff to grow your business. And so I don't want to see you struggle trying to keep up when there's a more efficient way to do it so you can be done and move on to all the other stuff. I want to put social media and video in its place. First hack is this idea that the best always batch. What does that mean? It means, like, if you look at that Jen Dillard video, she did not only make that video on that day. She made about a dozen or more videos within about a 2-hour stretch. She showed up with her videographer. She had hired a contracted videographer who set everything up. She showed up. She had topics planned. Sometimes folks have topics that are scripted and they're reading a prompter. Sometimes they just don't. The camera rolls. You say it. You do your thing. You can actually have in between takes like, ooh, I messed that up. Let me say that again. And then you say it again. All while the camera's rolling. It doesn't have to be a perfect one take because guess whose job it is to edit the dumb thing? The editor, not yours, the editor. And so batching content is a highly efficient way where you can have your topics ready to go. You show up, you talk to the camera for a couple of hours, and then you just knock them out. Katie Day does this. She's the Move Me to Texas team in Houston. She'll show up and she'll shoot over 70 videos in 2 hours. That's insane. And the way it works is she has a videographer on her team. Everything's already set up. She shows up after he's got the room prepped and ready to go. They have a document of printed all the topics. She does not script her topics. She just talks to the camera. So the videographer presses record. He's holding the sheet of paper and he says, Katie, talk about what is a multiple offer contingency removal or something like that. And he'll just start throwing like lingo or whatever the topics are. And she'll just riff answers. And then he'll edit into individual files and send her a link to a Google Drive folder with 80 videos in it or 60 videos, depending upon how good she was that day. She films once a month. I want you to imagine what it would be like if you made a commitment to post on social every day. And let's say 80% of all your content was already done before you started for the month ahead. Call it the base salary of your social media content plan. What would it be like if you weren't running a gun and you weren't chasing? It was already there and done. Batching may be the way to do that. I have several online courses. This one right here, Cracking the Social Code. This is about 3.5 hours of on-demand pre-recorded content. It goes way in depth about social media and video and content and your whole content plan. It's designed to go from A to Z. So if you're a newbie or a pro, even a marketing manager, this course is still for you, but it has a steep acceleration. That's why we recorded it on demand, because it will grow and progress very quickly, but you can watch it as many times as you want, whenever you want, until you are able to execute. Ideas are easy, execution is hard. When you get the slides, just click this right here and it'll take you to the actual page where you can look at that. If you're one of our coaching clients, it's steeply discounted, so make sure you're logged in before you buy so you can get that discount, okay? Let's keep moving on. Next question is, are you playing the long game? So I said in the beginning, we talked about vertical videos and how important they are, but I said notwithstanding, long form horizontal videos still have their place, especially on platforms like YouTube. This is Ken Pozak, one of our Rockstar coaching clients. Ken, now I just want to juxtapose. This slide right here, it said, I'm just going to find the slide. Where's the slide that said you're not making, this one, you're not making enough content. But Ken is only making one video a week. And he's making enough content. How? What kind of sorcery is this? He is making enough content. He makes one very well thought out. It's about a 9 to 12 minute video typically, somewhere in that range. This one here is 8 minutes, almost 11, 7, 7.5, 10, 8.5. So you get the sense of range of how long his videos are. Sometimes he's in his home studio. Sometimes he's around town and the videographer follows him. You'll get a sense of different sets, so to speak. He makes content designed for people moving to, or living in Orlando. Simple as that. So some of it involves Disney because he lives in Orlando. But his channel is all about video content for people living in or moving to Orlando. You get what your content attracts. One video a week, and look at the dude's stats. 32.5 thousand subscribers, impressive. In 2022, he generated 1,800 organic leads. 1,800. And he sold, of those 1,800, 202 properties to those leads. That's a freaking stellar rate of conversion. What happened? Well, YouTube's a search engine. It's not a social network, it's a search engine. And so people go to YouTube and they search it like Google. Moving to Orlando, and they find one of his videos, and then it recommends the next video and the next video and the next video. And before you know it, they're completely bought in and immersed into the Ken Pozak brand because his videos are working for him overtime. On Instagram and social media platforms where it's a feed, it's dominated by the feed, it's always in with the new, out with the old. So your content does not have a very long life expectancy. It's about a day, maybe 2 days, and then it's done. It's buried alive because you replaced it with the next post and the next post and the next post. That's the nature of a social media feed. But because YouTube is a search engine, well, people go searching for content, and once it starts ranking, assuming people watch the video for any kind of an extended duration, YouTube's like, I'll take more of that, please. And they keep ranking your videos over and over and over again. And so instead of, basically, I call it like social media content, it's like putting another log on the fire. If I want to keep the fire going, I got to throw another log on, and the fire consumes it. Throw another log on, the fire consumes it. That's Instagram, that's Facebook. But YouTube is a video army. Every time I post a new video, I just added another soldier and another soldier and another soldier and another soldier. So I've got a big growing army on YouTube, which is a very beneficial feature of YouTube. where YouTube lacks is it's not as effective in terms of staying in front of the people who already know you, your own personal network, compared to Facebook or Instagram. But Ken has thought of that too. So Ken chops up content. I've got the note here, chop until you drop. So we've got the best always batch and then chop until you drop. He is a video editor who lives somewhere overseas who will create about 75 vertical videos like these on the screen here based upon Ken's 1 per week long form. So he'll grab 7 from this one, 9 from that one, 3 from that one. 75 may be a slightly high number. That's how many they can do, up to 75. But he's grabbing all kinds of little snippets, little excerpts of vertical videos that are just chopped for Reels and TikTok and stuff like that, pulling from his long form content. This to me is a really, really smart efficiency. So think about this. We know video is a gateway to your marketing. Marketing without content is a bow without arrows. You need content, specifically you need video content. The problem is you're not making enough of it. How do you make more of it? Well, do things like news screens because they're highly efficient to make on the fly. Batch your content in advance. Chop until you drop to get way more content. If you did it that way, this struggle of I can't seem to make enough content to keep up all of a sudden goes away because we've just introduced a few efficiencies that are going to massively quantum leap, multiply, hence why I call it quantum content, your output of content. I would argue right now that the opportunity has never been greater on social media to build your brand and attract folks who want to do business with you. Real estate always has been this know, like, trust trifecta, and there's a big opportunity to use video to cultivate a brand that people are loyal to. It's word of mouth, it's attraction, video, video, video. So what stops agents? What stops you from making video? And I would argue, I hear a lot of excuses. What stops you from making video? I hear excuses like, I don't like the way I look. I don't like how I sound. I'm too busy. I don't know what to do. And these are all surface lying excuses. They're all surface lying. If you really get down to what stops folks from making video, it's fear of judgment. It's what it is. I'll give you an example. When I was a speaker, I was asked to speak for a convention, and I remember it was a big room, and I was a new speaker. I said when I was a speaker. I still am a speaker. When I was a new speaker, I was invited to speak for this big room, and I remember I was backstage, and I sort of made buddies with this. He became a mentor of mine, much more experienced speaker. And I'm standing next to him, and I was like, I'm so nervous. Are you nervous? And he goes, no. And I said, well, why aren't you nervous? Is it because you've done this so many times? He said, well, that's not it, but I'm just not nervous. And I said, well, why not? And he's like, do you really want to know? And I said, I really want to know why you're not nervous. And he said to me, when you're nervous, it means you're focusing inwardly. You're concerned about how you're going to look when you walk on that stage. What are they going to think about me? How are they going to feel about what I say? How good am I going to look? How bad am I going to look? It's you. You're focusing inwardly when you're nervous. We've heard people say that it means you care. That's not what it means. It means you're thinking about yourself. And he said, when you choose to focus outwardly on how can I serve these people? They didn't come here for me. They came here for themselves. So how can I serve them in the reasons they came here? All of a sudden, those nerves melt away because it's not about you. It's about serving the audience and their needs. You cannot be nervous when you're serving. It's just not the way we're programmed. We get nervous when we're afraid about how we're going to get judged. We talk about death and taxes. Sorry, not this wrong adage. We talk about people are afraid of death. They're afraid of public speaking. I would argue video is the third one to add to that list. They're terrified of it. And if you think about public speaking, at least I can see my audience and how they're physically judging me. But when you make a video, you put yourself out there for judgment, and you can't control the setting in which you're judged. It could go viral, and you can't. And so the reason agents stop themselves from making videos, what stops you, it's you're thinking inwardly, not outwardly. You're worried about being judged. That's a hard pill to swallow, I imagine, for many, but it's the truth. The opportunity's never been greater. How will you start serving your audience? And remember, nobody does you better than
Jason,
you. Yeah, go for it.
Jason, what would you say to someone who's challenged with that, faced with that challenge that always looking inward, having that fear of judgment, like what would be the one mindset shift or piece of advice that you would give someone to help them overcome that?
Well, let's say it's a specific video you're producing. Like, let's use the Jen Dillard example. I suspect she wasn't nervous because she was picturing the people she talked to. She made the video for those people. My recommendation would be is with every piece of content you produce, ask yourself, who is this for and how's it going to help them? Who's it for and how's it going to help them? And if you can focus that into everything you do, it all comes into alignment. It's not about you. There's no inward focus. It's about them. Who's it for? And how does it help them? Well, to know how it helps them, you have to identify their problem so you can mitigate that problem or solve that problem. How's it help them? That's the trick. The people who don't make video, they say things like, all those people making videos that just like the way they like the sound of their own voice. They're just narcissists. True, there are some. There are some people like that out there. Not most. The ones who keep making videos at a high level, keep making it because of the feedback they're getting, because they're helping so many people. And you get what your content attracts. And if your content is focused on solving the problems of buyers and sellers in your marketplace again and again and again, and you deliver those videos where it's you and your business, personal and professional all the time, in a know you, like you, trust you relationship business like this, and you get what your content attracts, think about what you're inviting into your life. Every video is an arrow for the quiver. Keep making them, keep shooting the targets. That's how you win the game of social media and content marketing.
I love that. And I also would add that, once you start getting into the rhythm, by the time you do, a few dozen of them, you're going to work past that nervous stage.
Absolutely.
You'll eventually get past it. You'll eventually come to the realization that you look how you look on video, you sound how you sound on video, and nobody likes how they look.
And you'll also realize video is not a fair comparison to public speaking. It's not the same thing. It'd be like saying you'll get over the feeling of being nervous for your first listing appointment. And you have to, because it's essential to your business. Videos like that, it's essential to your business. You've got to get over it. All right, I'm going to keep us moving. I'm a little behind, okay?
Cool.
All right, next section, supercharged CRM, contact relationship management, nurturing. This one's going to go real hand in glove with everything GGMS does, working with, it's going to go hand in glove. So think about this as, and then. This is the extra that goes on top of what you guys are already doing with your clients. So think about it like that. It's more of a one-to-many approach. I would argue your database of past clients in Sphere in particular, that database, is probably your best source of business. I'm willing to bet for many, when you look at where your deals come from, there's a good chance that your past clients in Sphere, repeat business, referral business, is a massive source, arguably the biggest source. Maybe. Now, I know what we're doing here in this group. There's a lot of lead generation, a lot of outbound, a lot of those efforts. So that may not be the case here, but in real estate overall, it is the case. In fact, if you look at data from the National Association of Realtors, they do reports every year about how sellers and how buyers find the agent they end up hiring. And year after year after year after year, it is always the same answer. Just about 2/3 of all sellers and all buyers find an agent by way of repeat or referral business. Why? Because this is a know you, like you, trust you business. The funny part is if you look at the data year over year over year over year over year, a lot of folks would imagine it's actually declining. Oh, as Zillow and all these things put information about real estate at the fingertips of consumers, the consumer becomes less reliant on the agent. It should be going down. Au contraire. The reliance upon the agent through repeat referral business has increased. If you go back to the early 2000s, for instance, more people use an agent now than they did before, by a lot. What's more, repeat referral business is a more known source than other sources for finding an agent. Why is that? Well, this is a little bit heady, but if you've ever read the book, The Paradox of Choice by Barry Schwartz, it would explain it to you. And it essentially says, as you give consumers more and more and more choices, think about the Cheesecake Factory's menu. As you give people more and more choices, it takes longer to make a choice. And at some point, you just ask the waiter, what's the most popular dish here? What do y'all do the best? You start looking for a recommendation because there's just so much out there. And so at the end of the day, there's so much stuff on the internet that is great for lead gen and whatnot, But the consumer is going to be like, all this information makes me realize what I don't know. Mom, dad, friend, neighbor, who do you recommend I work with? And thus we see an ever increasing reliance upon repeat referral business. Your community is a cash cow in your business. But here's the question, the hard question that you have to answer. How many other agents are in your local market? Because all those past clients and sphere of influence contacts, they know other agents. And you can nurture those opportunities and cultivate them for the harvest. But if you're not willing to close the loop and go pluck the grape off the vine, some other agent's going to say, oh, I'll take that, and then snatch it right when the opportunity was yours. Because this should invoke in you a sense of back off. This is my space. You should be feeling road rage right now. Elbows up, that these are your people, like a protective mama bear kind of vibe. They're your people. That's the vibe you should have, because there's a lot of other agents in your marketplace. But picture it like this, based upon NAR's data. If you got 1,000 seller leads, I can almost guarantee you that about 630 of them are going to work with somebody else other than you if they don't already know you, like you, or trust you. Let's keep going. 73% of leads aren't ready when they're generated. Shocker. You mean I got to work the leads? You mean they're not just going to buy with me? Heck no. A, they're not even committed to buying or selling. B, they may not know you from Jack. And so there's actually a secret opportunity, a silver lining to this statement. Now, this is not a real estate stat. This is a all sales, all businesses stat. 73% of all leads in any kind of a vertical aren't ready when you generated. And you're lucky. Because if they were, they wouldn't work with you. They would work with somebody they already know, like, and trust. They would ask somebody else for the recommendation, the referral. They wouldn't work with you 63% of the time, 2/3 of the time, right? Therein lies your opportunity to win them over from friend zone to I can't even talk today, from friend zone to end zone. This is your moment to win them over. So I want to talk briefly about one nurture plan to rule them all. Reminder, this goes in tandem with what GGMS is already doing with all your marketing efforts, all your lead nurturing efforts, and it's a lot. I know that it's a lot. I'm going to talk about a few multi-channel, one-to-many branding sort of focused strategies. And there is the benefit of multi-channel marketing. There is, in human psychology, there's this principle called the frequency illusion. And what it basically says is, I'm going to make this super simple, is let's imagine we've got two competing agents. One agent sends her subdivision postcards 2 times a month. And she's been doing it for a long, long time. The other agent, she sends her subdivision, the same subdivision, a postcard once a month. However, she also creates content on social media that she targets at that area, so they're seeing her on Facebook and Instagram all the time. And she's got a billboard at the entrance. Who's got the better marketing plan? The one who's doing more postcards, or the one who's doing fewer postcards but more diversified marketing? The answer is this one, the second one, the diversified marketing. Why? Well, because the frequency illusion says that when folks see your marketing here, here, and here in multiple places, it creates an illusion that they're seeing and hearing from you more frequently than is actually the case. There is a benefit to going cross-channel because it actually makes your marketing cheaper across the channels. Don't pour all your money into one thing. Like, don't do just email. If you can do email and something else, because if they start working together, they actually drive the cost per result down in each respective channel because they're working like 4 strands of rope. So I want to talk about multi-channel marketing for a second. The first one is promoting your content. So what is content? It's contribution. It's all the stuff, it's the news screens. It's the pro tips. It's the videos I just showed you. It's you demonstrating your expertise. At the end of the day, why do folks hire you? They know you, like you, trust you. So know and like, that's personable. Trust, that's professional. Personal plus professional equals a signed listing agreement, equals a new buyer rep. It's every piece of content achieving those outcomes, those goals every time. Okay, problem is, we know, I said this, if you post it on Facebook or Instagram, maybe 10% of your followers see it at best. Maybe 10%. Okay, that's not going to work for us. Thus, we must retarget your CRM contact data. So what does that mean? Well, that means if you go into your back-end platform, you'll have the ability to actually export all your contacts, all your leads out of your CRM, that GGMS, all your access points. You can export that data into a spreadsheet. It can have column A as name, column B as phone number, column C as email address, and whatever other identifying data you might have. And did you know you can upload that data straight into Facebook ads, Instagram ads, which is known as meta ads together, your meta ads manager. You can do it in TikTok's ads portal. You can do it in LinkedIn's ads manager. And you can scan that code right there or click it, and I'll give you a video that will teach you how to do it on Facebook and Instagram. A strategy whereby you can upload that data so that they almost cannot escape your content. And remember, every video is selling without selling. Every time. Selling without selling. Dog whistle CTAs that only the prospects with ears to hear can hear. All right, so let's keep moving. That's the first one. Second one is email campaigns on a weekly basis. Y'all are already sending out a ton of emails. Super duper, I'm not going to stop you. This is a one-to-many email newsletter, sort of a bulk email newsletter. It looks something like this. This is Matt Curtis's. You can weigh in a second, Mike. I don't. Are y'all using SendGrid for the mass emails? What tool actually is integrate? SendGrid.
SendGrid.
Okay.
Yep.
So you can just use your SendGrid that's associated. And the sections that I really like about Matt's. So he's got a nice little header. Anything I click, like the header or anywhere, it's going to take me to his website. Make it super clickable. Without going into details, open rates are not reliable metrics anymore, thanks to Apple's app tracking transparency framework, and Android's not reliable either. Some over-report, some under-report. We cannot rely upon email open rates. They are useless. The only thing you can measure is if it's the same list that I keep emailing without change, I can measure the delta. The open rate went from here to there, month to month, and that's a pretty reliable figure. But beyond that, open rates don't matter. We're really measuring click-through performance. So make it all clickable. Make it all clickable. This is 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 clickable. It's all clickable. Section 1 is a value pack video. Section 2 is a rotating offer. So sometimes it's a home valuation or a seller seminar or something like that. If you scroll down, the third section is featured listings. This is a really useful tool when it goes on listing appointments because sellers are like, I want that. Just for context, Matt's email list is over 50,000 people. Who's on the email list? Past clients, sphere, leads he's generated over his career. He is mining and effectively remarketing to an existing database of hand raisers. And he's mining like a coal miner, mining the opportunities, the gems out of that database. He's got another value packed video. This one here this is actually the highest performing link click. Click here to get a sneak peek of listings. Sometimes it might say open houses this weekend. That's typically the highest performing. And the last one is a piece about something happening locally. Once again, if I click it, I'm going to his website. He's actually got ChatGPT involved and they're blogging about what's going on the website. All links go to the website. Question for the audience that you can just think about rhetorically is, when do people discuss real estate plans or decisions? When do they talk about it? Well, the average American household, let's think about it. Monday through Friday, they're going to work. They're running kids around at practice. They're busy. And then they snooze until about 6:45 a.m. on a Saturday and they wake up and they think, I really need to deal with this deck. This deck needs to be replaced. It doesn't look safe anymore. We need new windows. Or maybe we should sell. The conversations about should we stay or should we go occur on the weekends for the average American household. So how can you then time your specific calls to action when you ask for business? Matt Curtis, because he has a very large email list, he does a call to action every Monday. You may say, if I've only got 500, I'm going to do it less often. You may also say, well, because my database is mostly leads, I'm going to do it more often. I leave it up to you to make the judgment of how often. He does it every Monday. Every Monday, he sends a straight up call to action email. By the way, if you look at his email performance metrics, his unsubscribe rate is 0.03%. It's ridiculously good. It's ridiculously good. Hey, Jason, could you finish this sentence for me? If I could sell my house for blank, I would list my home this spring. I can't wait to hear your answer. Short, sweet, and guess what? He generates about 40 to 50 direct listing inquiries every single 6 months. Call it 25 a quarter. They just raise their hand, we want to sell, because they're always seller-focused offers. He is mining an existing database with real estate-focused offers. It's beautiful. I'm going to keep us moving. You're not sending enough email, blah, blah, blah. You're not. You could send more as long as it's good. Don't send spam, send value. And you can send it every day. Last little bit, everywhere ads on a monthly basis. I'm going to talk about two kinds very briefly. And I mean briefly, we're going to fly. In-stream ads and banner ads. So let's talk about in-stream ads. These are on YouTube, and they're the commercials that play before, during, and after a video that you can skip. They're called skippable in-stream true view ads. That's the official name. What a lot of our clients are doing is they're doing monthly market reports, housing reports, every month. So they get the Board of Realtors numbers, and then they make a video about that most recent report from the Board of Realtors about housing. And the videos always open up with, this is Sherwood. So it might be like, hey, Sherwood homeowners, this is David Caldwell. That's who that is right there. And I've got your housing numbers for the month of blank. He always names the audience he's talking to. Who is he talking to? Homeowners in the city of Sherwood. Why would he do that? Well, because when you call somebody by name, they pay attention. And so if you look at his stats, these are truly kind of boring videos. Yet they perform better than most organic videos. He gets between 70 and 80% watch rates on 2 to 3 minute videos. They can skip after 5 seconds and they don't. His average cost per view is about a penny to 2 cents. What's a view on YouTube? A 30-second continuous watch, true view. So if they skip the ad, it's free. So what our clients are doing is they're doing these every month, replacing them each month and then running the ad. They do about $5 a day. So it's about $150 a month. And they target homeowners in your local marketplace. I see you everywhere. That's the objective. If you want to know how, click the QR code when you get the slides or scan it while you're watching, and you can watch a demonstration video of me teaching you step by step how to run these ads. This one you got to execute on. This is one to do. It is a listing magnet once you do it consistently. Banner ads. These are specifically called Google Display Network ads. And they look like these little banner ads that you see as you surf the web. You see them when you're on certain apps like video games and whatnot. You'll see these little banner ads. They pop up. They're in the bottom footer. They look different, shapes and sizes, but they're all put there by Google. Most of them are put there by Google as part of the Google Display Network. And the goal is, I just want folks to see you literally everywhere. Once again, you can target homeowners in your local marketplace, and or you can upload your CRM contact data and retarget your database so they literally see you everywhere. Remember, if your leads were ready when you got them, they're not going to hire you. It's just not going to work. They're going to hire an agent they know, or they're going to work by proxy through somebody else's recommendation. But if you're going to win them over, you're that agent. I see you everywhere. Then you're building a brand. Go back to the major objectives of marketing. What is marketing's job? Brand building, lead generation. What comes first? It doesn't matter. You can lead generate from a cold audience and then brand to nurture, or you can brand and then attract leads that are already warmed up and ready to go. Think about Ken Pozak. Which one did he do? Well, he branded first, and then the leads came in through YouTube. He got 1,800 leads last month. It works. It's one pillar that works. My advice is do a little bit of both. Brand to attract leads, lead and nurture. It's all wheels all the time. One plan to rule them all, so to speak. Here's a video on this one. Step-by-step demonstration for you to learn how and set up your own display network ads to be seen literally everywhere. Do y'all see how what we're doing is on top of what's already happening with GGMS? You're getting the leads, you're working them, you're in touch, but we're building your brand at a high level so that your conversion goes up. A strong brand always outconverts a weak brand. Build your brand, always. Last section, and then we're going to wrap it up really quick because I'm kind of running long. Brilliant basics and easy leads. This is the stuff that's just the no-brainer stuff. One, you should get online reviews, specifically focusing on seller perspective reviews. Why? Because buyers are far more likely to search for houses, homes for sale near me, homes for sale in Nashville, waterfront properties in Hendersonville. They'll search for homes. Now, sellers will also search for homes because we know about 1 out of 2 buyers is also a seller. We know that. But sellers are far more likely to do searches like best realtor Nashville, top listing agent in Nashville. They'll start looking for the agent they want to hire. And what are they looking for? They're looking for the best. How are they going to determine who's the best? It's based upon whoever ranks and it's based upon the reviews they read. It's ranking, it's reviews. Your reviews are ranking you. So focus on seller perspective reviews. And then also notice, like, in your marketplace, it goes back to the question, how many other agents might have Google business profiles? Google's going to typically show you the top 3 in a given search like this. There could be a 6,281 way tie for the 3rd position. And so these little snippets I've highlighted are called local justifications. What Google does is it will start literally digging into your reviews and looking for keywords that match up with my search. Best realtor is emboldened because I searched best realtor. Those reviews are money. If you want to go way, way deeper on Google, I have about 3.5 hours of pre-recorded content here, and it's on demand, consume at your own pace, straight up optimizing a Google business profile. That's a brilliant basic. Next is local service ads. These are the very top of Google. We could do a whole course on these. We really could. This is the red carpet that Google rolled out. These put you above Zillow, above Realtor.com, above anybody else. At the very top of Google, whenever somebody searches something like Best Realtor Orlando, and there's Renee Funk, one of our awesome coaching clients, people are reading her reviews. It syncs the reviews from her Google business profile. They're called local services ads, LSAs. If you're not running these, you're crazy. Now, you might say they were great in the beginning. Now I'm not getting anything. I know they were really, really competitive. But here's the good news. You're only paying for legitimate leads. So pay away, because they're not charging you unless you're getting what they offer to you. There's no reason not to. Next, referral sites. People will do a search like best realtors near me. You're going to see these rankings. So it's like Fast Expert, Dave Ramsey, Upnest, Dwellful. These referral sites where they want to charge you a commission if they give you the lead. Here's my advice. Do a search in your marketplace for best realtors near me, top realtors in your city. Do like several searches, and then see who's running ads on those searches in your local marketplace. And whoever's running the ads, those are the profiles you focus your profiles on, because they're the ones who are trying to intercept your clients. They're going to intercept them. There are some people who are going to want a third-party endorsement. They're going to intercept them. Let them, and then win them over, because think about the lifetime value of a customer you keep. We know that 2/3 of all deals are repeat referral. So I'll pay you your 35% referral fee once for the promise of a lifetime of repeat and referral business. I think we're almost done. Open houses. I know. Let's take a thing that's for sale and go inside of it and let people who want to buy it come too. This is face-to-face time with buyers and curious neighbors, nosy neighbors in your local marketplace. Y'all should be absolutely prioritizing open houses. Open houses give you stuff to make content about. They give you reasons to door knock neighbors. They give you FaceTime with the leads before you actually follow up with them, and then you integrate the leads in all your drips and all your systems. People are like, I didn't get anything of that last open house, I'm going to stop. Really? You're going to judge the efficacy of open houses by one bad open house? No. The results are in the repetition. You've got to look at this as, what am I committing to? Open houses are a flywheel, just like any other lead source, always going. Sometimes it'll kick up a dud. Other times it's going to be a trophy you'll never forget. It's going to be that $1 million listing you finally took and sold if you do the work. My goal in this content is that you fill the funnel. Barns overflowing, that's brimming over with leads and contacts who are bought into your brand, who want to work with an agent who's a pro in the local marketplace like you. How do you do that? It's video and social, it's email, it's everywhere ads, it's all the stuff we've been talking about. It's you everywhere. The market belongs to those who market. I want you to ponder this. If you're in a race like NASCAR or a running race that's going around a track, when is strategically, scientifically, the best time to pass a competitor? And the answer is around a curve. Around the curve. Why? Because everybody else taps their brakes. And if you have the guts and you want the glory, I'm not saying like you speed up ridiculously. I'm just saying that's the best time to pass your competitors. We're going around a curve now in this marketplace today. And a lot of agents are cost cutting. They're scared. They're doing the whole limbic system, fight, flight, freeze. They're fighting against reality. They're freezing and they don't know what to do. They're running and hiding. They're doing all the wrong things. There's a reason why the rate of failure in this industry is high, because a lot of people don't know how to run the business. They treat it like a hobby. They don't know how to run the business. Bain, the largest consulting firm, I believe, in the world, did a huge long track study on a lot of different businesses. And this is look at 2007, 08, 9, 10, 11, 12. Look at the years down here at the bottom. And they looked for businesses that were about evenly matched in the beginning of the recession we went through. And they analyzed over the course of the recession, what were the choices they made, operations, marketing, and sales, and how did those choices impact their future? And you'll notice there was a clear separation between the losers and the winners. And the difference was the losers were marked as the ones who started cost cutting. They started cutting salespeople. They started reducing their marketing. They started pulling out of the market, pulling back from the market to try to feel safe. Seth Godin says the riskiest thing you can do is try to feel safe. It is an illusion. The ones that won, the winners, were the ones who doubled down on what was working and did more of it. The market belongs to those who market. You can see about halfway through the recession, they did a clear break and they pulled away from the losers and became the clear market winners. Camp came, saw, conquered. Camp coulda, woulda, shoulda. The choices you make in this market are going to impact you in the long run. There's going to be a ripple effect in terms of the future of your business because change creates chances. The question is, when's the best time to pass a competitor? The answer is now. The other question is, when's the best time to get passed by a competitor? The answer is now. Change creates chances for somebody. Who's going to take the chance? Who's going to fill the funnel? I'm so glad you've been with everybody today. Again, here's my social information. I'd love to connect with you on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I want to be a resource. Here are the slides. Go to jasonpantana.com/GGMS. Make sure it's lowercase or it won't work. jasonpantana.com/GGMS. Get the slides, get all the links and everything we talked about, the courses, the step-by-step tutorial videos, all the content that's linked up, the videos that are linked up in the slides. Go here, jasonpantana.com/GGMS. Thank you for having me today. It's been a blast.
That was amazing, Jason. I've got pages
Good.
worth of awesome notes here. Really good stuff, really good content. I'm telling you guys right now, just to reinforce what Jason was saying at the end there, now is the time to take that market share. Now is the time to double and triple down on the things that are working. I mean, don't just keep throwing money at things that are not successful. But the things we covered today, the ability for you to be present everywhere, and a lot of these things, it doesn't take as much money as you think to make that illusion of being everywhere happen, right? It's a few dollars a day on each one of these channels. Across all channels, even if you only had 20 bucks a day to spend, you could hit most of these channels. You're not going to saturate things, but you're going to be present, right? You're going to be in the game.
That's right. That's right.
Yep.
And if you play the retargeting game and you keep uploading your database, you can do it for even less money.
Yep. That's
Love
totally right. Jason, thank you so much. I really appreciate everything. If there's ever anything we can do to help you out, just reach out, let us know. And for everybody that joined us today, we hope that there was a ton of value that you got out of this. And if there's ever anything we can do to help, just reach out to us and let us know.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.
Thanks,
See ya.
Jason. All right.
Bye.
Bye.